Because obviously they don't want to go back home because that's how they ended up in Job Corps to begin with. Right. Okay? So it says Job Corps helped black youth. Now it's on the chopping block. I don't know what the medium is. I guess that's the source. It says Job Corps, the largest residential training program in the country, is in jeopardy. Since 1964, centers have provided eligible 16 to 24-year-olds with an opportunity to complete their high school education and develop the vocational skills they need to enter the workforce. Enrollees received housing, meals, basic health care, and living allowance. Now, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all a little secret. When I was coming up, I thought Job Corps was only for bad kids, right? Because all the people I knew that would say they was going to Job Corps was always rough around the edge kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to Job Corps. I can't. Oh, come on, cat. You know, but I didn't know. I thought that it was associated with like the court system at first. Then I used to think that I knew they were going there voluntarily, but I thought it was like if you went to Job Corps, you was like at your last, hope and desperation of trying to get your life together, which is good that they have that. Even if that is true, it's good that they have that. So it says, they would give them housing, meals, basic health care, and a living allowance, as well as a career transition services. For many students, this program offered a lifetime to support they needed to achieve their career goals. Sadly, the Department of Labor announced its plan to pause funding for Job Corps, a move that would sunset the program. Congressman Robert C. Bobby Scott noted, without new contracts, these centers will cease to operate and will have to kick at-risk youth off their campuses, many of whom are homeless or in foster care and have nowhere else to go, like I said. And it's a safe haven. It's like you don't want to go to the military, right? But it's like, because a lot of kids who end up in the military are people who get kicked out of their house. They bad kids. They don't want to go to college. They don't want to work. The parents are sick and tired of them. They drag them down there to the recruiter's office and put their ass in the military. Bye. Because guess what? Once you sign them papers, that's it. You ain't escaping. They'll hunt you down. Right. You know what I'm saying? You better be on that bus at 4:30 in the morning down there when they throw all your shit in the middle of the street and be like, troops, find your name and get on the bus. And you be out there, child, that's how they start you off. That's not cat. I know. Okay? They throw all your shit in the middle of the street and tell you, you got 5 minutes to find your name and get on that damn bus. That's why I could never go to the military, y'all. I am too rebellious for that. Huh? I know, but the other way is Job Corps, is what I'm trying to say. You go to Job Corps, and that's why I used to always hear all these terrible stories about Job Corps, how kids be in Job Corps, they be fighting and shit and everything. It's like living high school for bullies and bad kids. That's not true. Come on, cat. I'm wrong for saying that, y'all. I'm sorry. We should not get rid of Job Corps. I'm telling this story so we can protect Job Corps. Yeah. Okay, so erase everything out of your brain what I just said. All of that was jokes. Yeah, it's the second page to this. It says, this is the cruel reality for many who depend on the program. While eliminating Job Corps will have a demonstrable impact on disadvantaged youth overall, when they say overall, they mean inner city, suburban, and trailer park kids. Okay? They include everybody. There are also racist implications to putting this particular program on the chopping block. While less explicit than removing diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, the attack on critical race theory or the criticism of wokeness in the policy shift carries racist implications. Nearly 75% of program participants were members of a racial or ethnic minority group, with 50% who identify as Black or African American. That's why they're taking it away. Yeah. Now, we got a story coming up tonight about HUD eliminating 51% of their budget. And they're going to be hurting Black people and white people with that one. Yeah. Child says 50% of the people in Job Corps are Black or African American, which means the other 50% is white. And Hispanics and everybody else. Says even though, and see this is an evil way of pointing out the numbers. See, because this is why they justify getting rid of it to hurt black people. See, because they only mentioned the only racial statistic they mentioned was the black statistic. 50% of the students are black. Yeah, let's get rid of it. Come on, cat. What it shows is that, see, white people are 56% of the entire population. So what they're showing you is the contrast that's saying more black people are taking advantage of this than white kids. So we can't have black people getting more advantage than white kids, so let's just get rid of the program. That's reality. Says even though the Trump administration did not cite race as a reason for its decision, cap. I just got through explaining it. To eliminate funding for the program, the consequences of the policy shift are evident. Without Job Corps, fewer black youth will have access to academic and vocational training as well as other essential resources. Consequently, they'll be less prepared to enter the workforce. Defunding Job Corps will pull the rug from underneath black youth and other at-risk minorities. So you're a young person, okay? You just recently graduated from high school, like a year ago, year and a half ago, whatever. If you think it's fair for them to take this program away from all kids, not just black ones, but all children?
No. They should keep the program in no matter what, because it's to benefit the next generation.
And benefit the community that they live in, where they come from. Y'all want to complain about people being poor and being on welfare and stuff like that, but you take away the programs that's supposed to keep them off the welfare. You take the programs away.
Right.
Does that make sense?